Some new details on the newly revised stimulus package and their strategy to get this thing passed. Also, how much stimulus money was spent in 2021. I'll give you a little hint. It's a massive, massive number. And some new economic data that was just released this morning that's not looking so good. I have all the details for you in this video, so let's get into it right now. But if you haven't done so, or if you're new here, make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and so I can keep you updated each and every day with all of these details as things are changing very, very rapidly, and ultimately it's all going to impact us to some degree. Also, make sure to stay tuned as my wife Corey will be back here in just a couple minutes with the new updated list of shoutouts for those names that are pulled right out of this community. And remember, that list is changing in every single video. Stay tuned for all of that, and let's get right into it. All right, so let's quickly talk about how much stimulus money was spent by the federal government in 2021. Do you want to take a little guess? I'll give you a hint. It is a huge number, and it is in the trillions. Here's what it is. They spent in the year of 2021 $6.82 trillion just in 2021 alone. Well, at the same time, they also had only $4.05 trillion collected from tax revenues, leaving a deficit of $2.77 trillion. Did you notice how I said only $4.05 trillion in tax revenues? I didn't mean to say only. $4 trillion in tax revenues is massive. Just think of this. The $6.82 trillion that they spent in 2021 alone is like 3.5 stimulus packages. That's unbelievable. That is a lot of money changing hands in 1 year alone. Could you just imagine if they sent out $6.82 trillion in 2022? I mean, seriously, it's unbelievable the amount of money that's changing hands just in this country alone, right? Not the whole world, just this country last year in 2021. So anyway, came across that information, wanted to share it with you because I found that to be very, very interesting. Also, let's quickly talk about some new economic data that just came out this morning, and this number is released every Thursday, and it's something that we watch very closely because ultimately this is one of the key indicators that the administration watches, that Congress watches, that everybody watches very closely because it gives us a barometer of what's the economy doing, what's the job market doing, how is everything going, and it gives us a little glimpse into what's going on out there. This is the initial jobless claims number that's released every Thursday morning, and we just got that one this morning. It came in at 286,000 new people applied for unemployment benefits last week. Now, you might think, okay, well, what does that mean even? This is an irrelevant number as far as now. Give me some perspective. Here's what it was. So last week, the number was reported at 230,000. So it was up 56,000 people in 1 week alone filed for unemployment benefits. The week prior to that was 207,000. So 23,000 more people applied last week over the week prior, and 56,000 people applied last week over the prior week there. So as you can see here, the trend is going the opposite direction. Ideally, in a perfect world, the unemployment rate and people applying for initial jobless claims, as in first-time people applying for unemployment benefits, would be going down. But rather, we're seeing that number go up by quite a bit. Over the last just a couple weeks here, we've seen it go up by 79,000 new claims just in 2 weeks alone. That's a lot. I mean, that is not the direction that they want these numbers to go. And remember, now again, you might be wondering, okay, I'm a Social Security beneficiary, I'm a fixed income, who cares about people like the jobs, right? Well, we do care, and we care because this is a very key barometer that we look at when it comes to stimulus packages, how much relief is needed, possible stimulus checks. We look at all of this very closely because they look at it thinking, okay, how many people are working, how many people are unemployed, how many people are being laid off or furloughed, or how many bankruptcies, as in businesses just straight up going bankrupt that are closing their doors, and it's all reflected in jobs, right? So that's why we've got to watch this very closely. Even if we don't care that much and we don't want to watch this stuff, we have to watch it very closely because ultimately this is one of the key indicators that impacts stimulus packages, potential stimulus checks, additional relief going forward, everything like that we want to watch very closely as well. So that's something that we need to watch very closely. So just want to lay that out there for you. Also, let's quickly talk about the stimulus package, or should I say the newly revised and the newly updated stimulus package. So here's what we know. And again, we've talked about this a little bit briefly in previous videos, but the Build Back Better agenda is pretty much done, okay? That $2.2 trillion package that was sent over from the House way back, what was it, a couple months ago? It was sent over from the House into the Senate. It's pretty much done. It's not happening, okay? The $2.2 trillion package is not going to pass in its current form. We know this. Everybody knows this in Congress. We know this. The administration knows this. And their strategy moving forward is to break this package up. However, the new details that we now have coming out of Steny Hoyer and some other lawmakers out of Congress are essentially saying that they're going to revise this package and they're going to shave it down significantly, possibly down as low as $1 trillion or possibly even less. So basically cutting it in half once again. Remember, this is the package that originally started out at about $6 trillion. They shaved it down to $3.5 trillion. They then shaved it down to $1.75 trillion. It then got boosted back up to $2.2 trillion, and now they're talking about bringing it back down to about $1 trillion in total across all of these different provisions. However, there's one more major detail about this that we need to know about. They're going to be privately negotiating the details of this package with Joe Manchin. So, rather than doing all of this negotiation out in the public eye, like what they've previously done with all these packages, they negotiate them out in public so that everybody can see the details of everything that's going on, the negotiations, what's in the package, everything like this. They've said, no, we're not going to do that this time. We're going to do this privately behind closed doors, and they're going to work one-on-one with Joe Manchin to see what he will actually support and what they can actually get passed through. Not such a bad strategy. And the reason I say that is because if they don't negotiate directly with Joe Manchin, if they bring just a huge package in again and say, well, here's the package and let's get it done, and all of a sudden it has a bunch of provisions in it or a bunch of details that maybe people like Joe Manchin or Kyrsten Sinema or any other people in Congress may not recognize or support, they're just going to be wasting a bunch of time again. I mean, seriously, let's be real right now for a minute. We've been talking about the Build Back Better since April of 2021, right? And they haven't done it yet. So, rather than wasting another, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months trying to figure out a bill and all the details about it that may not even pass, why not work directly with the lawmakers that are possibly having a little bit of opposition about it and figure out, okay, what are your priorities? What is important to you? What will you agree with? What will you go for? And let's work those through and let's get it all wrapped up in a package. Let's get it done. And where can we negotiate? Maybe, Joe Manchin is open to something, but he says, okay, I draw the line here. Okay, fine. Maybe we just draw the line there and we negotiate the rest, right? It's a big negotiation, just like everything else. So that's what they're going to be doing this time, is talking behind closed doors. So we may not get a whole lot of details about this new version of the package until they get really close to a deal. Maybe they'll share some things with us along the way as they come together on agreements, but according to what they're talking about, these private negotiations with Joe Manchin this might be a little bit more kind of hush-hush, tight-lipped, and just behind closed doors because they might not want to share it with all of us, the public, right? But again, you never know. Maybe they'll come out, maybe they'll give us some details, but they do know that they're going to be working with Joe Manchin quietly about these packages. At the same time, Nancy Pelosi and the other package, right? We have that one as well. Still awaiting further detail, but we do know this much. They're going to get it passed here within the next 3 weeks or so. That's their plan. By about mid-February at the absolute latest, anytime between now or then is their plan to bring this other package, which, by the way, is a COVID relief bill, otherwise known as a stimulus package, and get it done sometime before mid-February. Again, still waiting more details on that. Let me quickly give you a quick update on that third stimulus package. This is the $68 billion package that we heard about maybe 2.5 weeks ago or so. Nothing on this one. In fact, I just came across some new information on this one. And they said that this one is pretty much done. It's over, okay? So this one was just that we got like one little glimpse of it, and that was about it. It was like a shooting star, right? You saw it for like 3 seconds, and it was like, whoa, that was cool. And then it disappeared, and you never saw it again. Kind of the same thing, right? Do you like that analogy? I kind of like that one, right? But anyway, So this other package, it was $68 billion. It was coming together with a small handful of bipartisan senators, a couple Republicans, couple Democrats, and we haven't seen anything about it in about 2.5 weeks or so. And according to my latest research and what I just found, they said this thing is pretty much gone. It's evaporated, likely not coming back. So again, we'll leave it there for that one for now. If I see anything else, of course, I'll bring that to you. But for as far as we go on that one, let's just leave it there because it looks like it's done. So we do have these other packages, though. We have the newly revised version of the Build Back Better, which they're working on currently, and we have this new package talked about by Nancy Pelosi and Steny Hoyer a few times. As we get details on that one, I'll let you know because that one looks a little bit appetizing, and that one looks like it could potentially be pretty good. I'll keep you posted. Anyway, this is what I have for you as of right now. Make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss any updates going forward, as we've got a lot on the table right here. Billions, possibly even trillions of dollars flowing out here sometime soon in the form of these next couple stimulus packages. There's a lot going on, and we want to make sure that we can get as much as we possibly can. So subscribe down below. It's totally free to do so. Share this video with your friends, family, and social media. There's a share button right down below as well. And with that being said, let's bring my wife Corey in so she can read that new updated list of shoutouts for the names that are pulled right out of this community, as in the fan club. If you're interested in checking that out, there's a link down below in the description. Otherwise, at the top of the comments section, there's a link there as well. I will pin a comment at the top of the comments section. Check it out. Otherwise, totally free to be here on the channel, totally free to subscribe, totally free to watch all the videos, everything right here. So check out the fan club if you're interested in joining the list for the shoutouts here in these videos. So with that being said, make sure to stay tuned. Corey will read that list, and the list of shoutouts is changing every single video. All right, Corey, enough out of me. Take it away, and I'll see you again later in the next update. I'll see you for now.
We're happy to shout out Ruth Kelly, Kevin Riordan, Larissa Rotullo, Barbara Murphy, Joseph Schlosser, Margaret Yoakum, and Joy Denise Gilmore Culver. Thank you for being in the fan club.